She sat outside the same diner every evening, rain or shine. Her old wheelchair creaked, its paint flaking away, her trembling hands resting in her lap as she waited. No one knew her name. To most people, she was just that girl who asked for leftovers. But to Mark, a tired single father who passed by the diner after work each night, she was a mystery he couldn't shake. What could make someone so young sit alone, night after night, waiting for food others had thrown away? That question haunted him. And one night, when he finally decided to follow her after she rolled off with her small paper bag of scraps, what he uncovered would shatter his heart, and change both their lives forever. Mark was 38, a mechanic with rough hands and a soft soul. Since losing his wife 3 years ago, it had just been him and his 10-year-old son, Ethan. He worked long hours to keep his shop open and the lights on at home. Every evening, after picking Ethan up from the community center, they'd drive past the same diner where the girl sat. She never begged. She never pleaded. She simply waited, patient, offering a faint smile whenever someone handed her a bag. Ethan had once asked, "Dad, why doesn't she just go home and eat?" Mark hadn't known how to answer. One rainy night, as water poured from the sky, he noticed she was still there, soaked to the bone yet unmoving. Something inside him twisted. He pulled over, stepped out, and approached her with his umbrella. "You'll catch your death out here," he said gently. She looked up, her eyes calm, almost apologetic. "Thank you, sir. I'm just waiting a little longer." The diner owner said he might have something left. Mark's throat tightened. He couldn't just walk away. He went inside, bought her a warm meal and a cup of coffee, and handed it to her. She hesitated. "I only take leftovers. I don't like taking food someone could still sell." Her humility caught him off guard. "Please," he urged. "This isn't charity. It's dinner with a friend." She gave a faint smile and accepted. For the first time, Mark saw her eat, slowly, carefully, as if every bite mattered. When she finished, she thanked him, told him her name was Lily, and started to wheel away. Something told him not to let her go, not out of curiosity, but concern. He followed from a distance, headlights off, as she moved through narrow streets into the darker side of town. When she stopped in front of an old warehouse, his heart began to race. She slipped through a side door. Mark waited a few minutes before stepping closer. Inside, what he saw froze him in place. The building wasn't abandoned. 4 small children huddled inside, dirty, cold, and hungry. They ran to Lily as soon as she entered, faces lighting up. "Did you get something today?" one boy asked. Lily smiled weakly and lifted the paper bag. "Just enough for everyone to share," she whispered. Mark stood there, unable to move, tears filling his eyes. This paralyzed girl, ignored by everyone, pitted for asking for scraps, was secretly keeping 4 orphans alive. The same girl people walked past without a second glance was their only source of hope. Mark stepped out of the shadows, his breath caught in his throat. Lily gasped. "Please don't tell anyone," she whispered. "They'll take them away." "I promise to protect them," Mark said softly, shaking his head in disbelief. "You've been doing all this alone?" She nodded. "Their mother used to beg near the train station," she murmured. "She died last winter. I couldn't let them end up like her." That night, Mark drove home in silence, Ethan asleep in the back seat. But his mind wouldn't rest. His late wife's face flashed before him, kind, steady, full of compassion, and he could almost hear her voice urging him, "Do something." The next morning, Mark loaded his truck with food and blankets and returned to the warehouse. Lily looked terrified when she saw him. But when he smiled and handed her a bag of groceries, her eyes filled with tears. "Why are you helping us?" she whispered. Mark knelt beside her. "Because my son needs to know what real strength looks like. And I think I just met the strongest person I've ever known." Days turned into weeks. Mark repaired her broken wheelchair, brought her medicine, and spoke to a local shelter about the children. But when they offered Lily a place, she refused. "They're my family," she said quietly. "If they go, I go." So Mark made sure they could all stay together. For the first time in months, they had warm meals, clean clothes, and a safe place to sleep. Then one evening, Lily fell ill. The doctor said the infection had been there too long, eating away at her strength. Mark stayed beside her hospital bed, holding her frail hand. "You saved those kids," he whispered. "Now let me help save you." She smiled faintly. "You already did. You gave me something I thought I'd lost, faith in people." When she finally recovered, Mark offered her a job at his garage, handling customers, keeping the books, greeting everyone with that quiet smile that seemed to light up the whole place. She became the heart of his shop, the calm in the chaos. Ethan adored her, calling her Aunt Lily. The children she had once fed from scraps were now enrolled in school. Their laughter echoed through her new life, filling spaces that had long been empty. Months later, Mark stood at the porch, watching his small but complete family. Lily sat beside Ethan in her wheelchair, the kids playing in the yard, their laughter carried by the wind. He thought back to that night outside the diner, the night curiosity turned into compassion, and realized something that sent a warmth through his chest. He had thought he was rescuing her. But really, she had rescued him, reminding him of the kind of goodness his wife once believed in. And every evening, when they passed the diner where it all began, Lily would smile and say, "Funny how life works, huh? You went looking for answers and found a family." Mark would glance at her, his heart full. "No," he'd whisper. "I followed a stranger, and found an angel."